Hey guys, back with another video, and this time I have a book haul. Two of the things I'm gonna be sharing with you are my boxes from Book of the Month. And I have some other books that are behind me that are from the Goodwill. And one from my last vlog, which I think I have to post. I don't even think I posted it. I think I started editing it and lost track of time, and I don't think I finished editing it. But anyway, I visited a little library and I took 6 or 7 books back and got one book. So I will show you all of those. All right, so we're gonna start with Book of the Month. And I believe this box is June selection. I think it's June. Yes, it is June. And my book for June is The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. It's a really pretty cover too. Says, neither here nor there, but long ago. Okay, I lied. I'm not going to read all this. I already can't pronounce the names in the... I'm going to have to figure out name pronunciation. So if you want to stop and pause, you can do that. But I got this because it looked like it was in the description anyway. It was about jinns and magic and hauntings. So it's about a jinn, and they're trying to figure out a killer, and it's about a jinn. So they had me at jinn. So genie, jinn, however you want to, call it. It had me at jinn. Next book, this was a add-on. It is Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. I got this book because I saw the movie with my sisters and I enjoyed the movie, so I grabbed the book. I know she's a controversial, I don't know. She's controversial author because research says that she's very racist, but I have not done that type of research. I just know that this story was good and the movie was good, so I got the book. Last but not least, another add-on. It was a book in May, but I got it in June, and it was an add-on, and it says Take My Hand by Dolan Perkins Valdez. Very beautiful cover there. And this is about a girl who is fresh out of nursing school, and she intends on making a difference, especially in her African American community. So yeah, nurse, and she discovers young patients that are, I guess, very, very young, and talking about kissing a boy, but they're poor and black, and we're talking about welfare. So it looks like it'll be interesting. All right. So, and then the bookmark that comes with that is, and it says you'll never guess what happens next. I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting not to like the bookmarks as much, because now it's like not even really thick cardstock like in some of the previous ones. They're a little bit thinner. It's cardstock for sure, but it's like thinner. I found one of my old Book of the Month bookmarks, and it was back when they had like judges and the quotes on the back of the Book of the Month card. Like one side was all blue, and then it said Book of the Month in white, and then the other side was like a picture of like a drawing of a judge and a quote that they wrote down. And the cardstock was like that really thick cardstock where it's harder to fold. And then they went to like the slightly thinner where you can move it more and fold it if need be. And now that is like one step away from just being paper. All right, next box. This way. Next box. And this is July's pick. Yep. And I got You're Invited. This reminds me a lot of the guest list. I read the synopsis for this, and it's kind of like a guest list. They are all invited to a wedding that's pretty much far away or on an island by itself, and you got to figure out who the killer is. So kind of like a whodunit. I enjoy whodunits more than like obsession type of true crime. Just because you just never know. You never know. The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I got this because it's all over BookTube, and I usually don't get books that are very high in like popularity, not right away anyway, but all of the reviews that I saw is pretty much going to tell me that I'm going to love this book. And so far, so good. I've been pretty much liking all of Riley Sager's books, so I think it's fair to say I'm going to like that one. And then lastly, my last add-on is Will by Will Smith. I read this book already. Listened to this book already. And I talk about it in my wrap-up video that I'll post right before this. And I give my thoughts there. I just wanted a physical copy because I loved the audio book so much. And I did look at and review the pictures in this. Of course, I open up all of my boxes when I first get them, even before I'm making videos, because I want to make sure that everything I ordered was in the box. But yeah, and to make sure there's no damage done, because the way the delivery is here where I live, not always is it done right. I've gotten 3 Book of the Month boxes where I've either didn't get the book, or when I got the book, the hardback cover was, and not like the dust jacket, but the actual hard cover, this part was bent up. And the books that I had gotten, and I had gotten 3 books that one month, so they had to end up replacing. Well, they didn't have to, but they chose to replace them. So, and then this book, see, this is how I like the bookmarks. This is the virtual book tour, which you can listen to on Spotify, and I believe that's a symbol for iHeart Radio, but I'm not quite sure. But I know Book of the Month have their own podcast. And so it says, take a break from reading to listen to us talk about reading. And this is not as hard as the other, like the original bookmarks they used to send us, but it is that one step down, like I was talking about earlier, that I like. This is a good bookmark. The other one for June was hard paper. But yeah. So those are the Book of the Month books, the picks. All right. And now I'm going to show you the one book I found in the little library. I got it literally because the cover looks cute and it looks like a rom-com. I'm trying to give rom-coms a chance, but sometimes it's hard because of all of the scenes that can be in them. But this says, Dear Haiti, love Elaine. Very cute cover. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try this. And so it says, oh, this is a debut book from two sisters. That's what it says. Yeah, I cannot pronounce either one of these names, so I'm not even gonna try to butcher those. But it says, when a school presentation goes very wrong, Aileen finds herself suspended and shipped off to Haiti. Thanks to the incident, don't ask, she's spending the next 2 months doing what her school is calling a spring volunteer immersion project. It's definitely no vacation. She'll toil away under the ever watchful eye of her Tati Estella at her new nonprofit. And after her usually absent lean-in queen of a mother is even there, too, lying low away from the media sharks after a much more public incident of her own. There are some pretty nice perks, like flirting with Tati's distractionally cute intern, getting FaceTime with her mom, and experiencing Haiti for the first time, but learning the truth about her mother's meltdown and how she might be able to help how she might be able to help sets Aileen on a path that she never could have imagined. So the authors are actually Miami natives, but they are daughters of Haitian immigrants. So they are Haitian American. So that's cool. Put that there. All right, the rest of these I'm not going to go into or say a whole lot about. I'm going to just show them to you and kind of go from there because I have 9 books to show you. All right, so these next couple books I'm going to show you is all by the author Laurel K. Hamilton. I am reading her Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series, and I don't have all the books in the series, so these books are those books in the series. So we have Dance Macrobay. I think this is Dance. And Anita Blake is, not Anita Blake, Laurel K. Hamilton is a St. Louis native. St. Louis, Missouri native. So some representation from St. Louis. Woo, woo. All right. Blue Moon, which is also part of the trilogy. And I don't know who told people at Goodwill that they need to go up on their prices, but this inflation thing needs to stop. I was finding these books for $1 or 50 cents. Now they $2.24. Hey. Next we have The Lunatic Cafe, which is also Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series. We have Burnt Offerings. We have, lastly, the Harlequin. A Harlequin. And that is a picture of Laurel K. Hamilton. All right. Next, I have part 4 of a series that I'm trying to get into. And I just got books 1 and 2. And now this is book 4, so I got to get book 3. But I saw it and I was like, oh, yeah. So it's The Immortal Instruments, A City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. Next, I have Malcolm X, as told by Alex Haley, and Alex Haley is the author of Roots, if you did not know. So it says, in the searing pages of this classic autobiography, originally published in 1964, Malcolm X and the Muslim leader Firebrand and anti-integrationist, tells the extraordinary story of his life and the growth of the Black Muslim movement. His fascinating perspective on the lies and limitations of the American dream and the inherent racism in a society that denies its non white citizens the opportunity to dream gives extraordinary insight into the most urgent issues of our own time. The autobiography of Malcolm X stands as the definitive statement of a movement and a man whose work was never completed, but whose message is timeless. It is essential reading for anyone who wants to understand America. So, I just never actually read an autobiography of him. I've read books where he is mentioned in them. So I just want to do some research of my own. So yeah. Next, I have a book. It is called Jesus, His Life, A Companion Guide. It's based on the history 8-part series. It actually doesn't say who the author is. I think just the History Channel put it out there. But it does have a foreword in it by Joel Osteen, which, you know, whatevs. But I do want to give this a go. But it's based on the History Channel's telling of John the Baptist and Jesus Christ. So, and each one has an episode. So, I believe it's an 8-episode series. So, I think this actually goes hand in hand with the series. So, I'll be watching the series and going through the book with it. I just want to give it a try, give it a go. And lastly, I saved this book for last because I wanted this book in another form. Let me take this sticker off this book because... Alright, so I am a huge fan, and if you've watched my channel long enough, you would have seen, you know, a few years ago, I was getting the Supernatural box from Culturefly. I believe now, since this series is over, there's not too many boxes I missed out on when we had to cancel the subscription because of the move. Because when we first moved here, we just weren't getting our stuff the right way, so I canceled the subscription. Some of the stuff I can find on Etsy, some of it I can find on eBay, but I don't know that it's really worth me like renewing my subscription for. The merch was really cool. Some of it, and then some of it was like super cheap. Like, I never really cared for the cups because the cups were always like done very cheaply, and the logos were always coming off by like the second wash. So yeah, but this is a supernatural book, but it is John Winchester's journal. If you look on Etsy for a relic of his journal, it is expensive because it is in the actual, well, it's in a replicated version of the actual, like, 3-ring binder that has the little thing on the front where it ties and all that jazz. But yeah, so now I get to read about some of the stuff that was in John Winchester's journal that the boys like looked through when they were hunting the supernatural creatures and saving people, and the people not knowing that they were being saved. Whammy. But yeah, I just saw this there and I actually thought it was part of the regular like supernatural series where it was like the books that tell the stories that are pretty much like the TV show. So I thought it was that because in one of the seasons there's a prophet who later turns out to be a guy acting as God. He writes an entire series on the boys, and it's like pretty much like the script of the first seasons before that season. So I thought it was those books, and then it turns out to be John Winchester's journal, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, that is only 218 pages with acknowledgments. So I think this is pretty cool, pretty nifty, kind of cool relic to have if you're a collector of supernatural things. Um, and I mean like the TV show Supernatural things. I'm not talking about actually like going out and messing with stuff. Like we know we're not about that life. We leave all of that stuff alone because don't nobody want none of that. But anyway, that is my book haul, and that is all I have for you today. Until next time, bye.